What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Pastor Alex Bryant, back. I'm back. I missed you guys. I've been off the airwaves for about a month now. The last time many of you heard me, I was with KWTO. That was radio. I was live on 93.3 KWTO. Wake up, Springfield, with Pastor Alex Bryant. Got love for those homies over there. They changed the show. Don Luzader, shout out to you. Garrett Bowles, producer. But they're doing Wake Up Missouri now, and that's still 5:30 to 9. I'm doing my live podcast, Frontline Faith, with Pastor Alex Bryant. We're on from 9 to 11. Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's what the deal is going to be. Let me tell you who my team is. I always got to bring in my team. You can't see them. I've been told that I have the face for radio, but I'm changing that, baby. I'm changing it. What's up, Michael? My son Michael yesterday, he's like, hey, Dad, are you ready to be on, video? Because maybe you should dye your beard. Maybe you need to trim your eyebrows and check your nose. I'm like, what's this stuff? Like, I'm a pretty dude. I'm the big, bald, beautiful brother man. You know what I'm saying? So why is he trying to trip on a brother? But anyway, you get what you get. You don't throw a fit. This is who I am. I'm on video. The guy that did the show before me, his name's Will Worsham. If they let him be on video, they're definitely going to let me, because he's not a pretty dude. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect. Wait, is he still around? Oh, wait, he's still. Oh, sorry, Will. He's actually the guy that owns the studio. You should not insult the owner of the studio. My bad, Will. My bad. Your wife thinks you're good looking, and maybe your mom, but I definitely don't. But anyway, but Will's part of the team. He's the guy that invited me, I don't know, about maybe 6-8 months ago. I get a call. It's like, hey, from, I think it was Landon McCarter. He's like, you need to come out to Rogersville with me. There's this guy, Will Worsham. He's a lawyer, Worsham Law Firm. He does estate planning and stuff. He's like, you got to come out and see this studio this guy has. It's awesome. He's got all these HD cameras, great studio. And so, I don't know, I was busy. A couple months later, Will and I connected, finally was able to go out there and make the connection. And then boom, I was like, oh, I started to dream. This is 4, 5, 6 months ago. I'm like, dude, we got to do something together. I wanted to take my podcast, the way we see it, to video, and man, the streaming. And so we've started to think about it, started to dream about it, and then boom, now beginning of the year, it's happening. So thanks, Will Worsham, for the opportunity, for being out here. This is being, now you guys know me, I'm not a technical person, or maybe you don't know me, but I'm not technical. And I just know this, the host of my show, Frontline Faith with Pastor Alex Bryant, is on the Planet 417. So that is, I guess, like the network, I guess. I don't know what you'd call it. Planet 417. That's going to be something you're going to be seeing about, hearing about. You want to get used to that. We're planning a whole slew of shows and different programming to bring to you, Planet 417. So get that in your mind and make sure you know what's going on. When in doubt, if you can't find me streaming on Facebook, Rumble, X, YouTube, go to Planet 417. It'll be on there. That's the deal there. So that's the platform that's housing my show, Frontline Faith with Pastor Alex Bryant. But so Will's part of my team, and then we got one of my good buddies. I've known him for about 30 years. We were before any kids. We were actually in Young Married Sunday School class together. Him and my wife, and I and his wife. They're good friends. Todd Nicholson. He's behind the scenes. Another face for radio. We don't want to put those guys on the scene because they're not as pretty as the big, bald, beautiful brother man. So, and he's a Chiefs fan. He's wearing Chiefs gear. And this podcast is brought to you by the Bears. So actually it's not, but maybe they'll sponsor me one day. Who knows? So that's the deal there. Dream big. But Todd Nicholson, thanks for all you do. He's been helping me think, dream, plan. This guy is a technical genius, but he's got a great mind. He's low key, can make anything happen. One of my good buddies, Todd Nicholson, thanks for being here. And then he and I are going to be growing this thing. He's going to be with me. We worked on the radio together. We work well together. His name is Matthew Frizzell, and so I call him Frizz, and that's not his professional name. So, Mom, shout out to Frizz. I know you call him Frizz, but his name is Matthew, and he's the producer. Maybe yell something. Say, what up, Frizz? Yell something.
What's up?
So there it is. One of these days we'll get him on the video, but for now he's learning the technical board. Now, let me just tell you this. Frontline Faith with Pastor Alex. This is going to be Man, it's the first time we've ever done anything like this. First time we've ever streamed. We're going to be showing you video, audio, pictures, and Frizz is learning it all new. He's a whiz when it comes to radio and audio stuff, knowing those boards, but we're all new to video, and so bear with us. We might have some hiccups, but we'll figure it out together, and that's the plan there. So that's the deal there. So who am I? And for those of you that may just now be tuning in, I am Pastor Alex Bryant. That's who I am. A licensed minister with the Assemblies of God. I've been licensed for about 20, 25 years, and Christian. That's who I am. I've been a Christian since I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I'm a husband. Been married to Angela Bryant for 28 and a half years. It'll be 29 this August 5th, and we have 5 kids. And so 4 boys and a little princess, and I say little princess, but she's a freshman in high school, and she's 6 feet tall. And but yeah, so Amanda Potts, let's go, Pastor Alex. What up, Amanda? Well, I see you. Our technology is working. I see people talking to me on the screen right there. Wow, I've never had that before. Way cool. Okay, but that's who I am. We have 4 boys, and then the little girl Trey is our oldest. He just moved to D.C. He's working out there on Capitol Hill. Started a new job just yesterday. He's going places in politics, wants to be a senator. Who knows? We'll see. Trey Bryant, that's the deal there. Michael Bryant, he's my number 2 son. He's a senior at Evangel. He's a worship leader, and that's what he does. He worships the Lord, and just a talented musician. Mason Bryant is a senior in high school. He's going to be going to Missouri State next year. And then Josh is our sophomore. He's the 4th boy. And then, of course, the little princess, Katie. And so that's who I am, minister, pastor. Shout out to my mom, Barbara Houston. You'll be hearing about her. I am her favorite child, her only son, but I am her favorite child as well. And there's no one here to refute that. I got 2 sisters by them, but my mom will tell you, if you look at her and smile and you say, "Is Alex your favorite?" She's just going to smile real big and say, "I love him a lot." It's true. My sisters know that I'm Barbara Houston's favorite. So that's the deal there. And so yeah, I live here in Nixa. I'm recording from Rogersville. Came to Springfield in 1991, played football at Evangel University. You're going to be hearing a lot about Evangel. I love Evangel University. So they're unofficial sponsors too. Maybe they should be giving me some moolah, some cash to do this. But anyway, just to tell you a little bit about who I am, because I'm coming to you live. We're going to be spending a lot of time together. Now, why Frontline Faith? That is the question of the day. Why Frontline Faith? Well, let me tell you where this all started. A few years ago, I ran for Congress. Well, let me go back even more. I do a podcast called The Way We See It. That's my normal audio podcast. I've been doing it for about 5.5 years. We got about 250 episodes. And I talk about issues. I talk about theological issues, cultural issues, social issues, even political issues. And as I was doing that on my podcast, The Way We See It, a couple people, when Billy Long retired from Congress, they're like, "Hey, you got to think about running for Congress." I'm like, "Nope, never even thought about it. Not a politician. No, thank you." I had about 3 or 4 people say that to me. And finally, I had a meeting with John Ashcroft and, kind of wanted to get his thoughts on it. One of my friends, Tim Hayes, connected me with him, and he's like, "Hey, maybe you should think about running." And so you guys remember that. I did. I ran here in our area and ended up losing. What? Yeah, ABC, Alex Bryant for Congress. You better remember your ABCs. But from that, it just, God opened up my eyes to what's going on politically and all the different fights that we have where culture is trying to really be changed. There's a plan to really, us Christians and us conservative people, to push us into a corner so that we adopt beliefs that are antithetical to what we believe. For many of us Christians, it goes against what the Bible teaches us, our core values, our core beliefs, and things like, are there 2 genders? There's male and female is what the Bible says in Genesis 2. Or, the homosexual agenda, the LGBTQ agenda, it's just in our face. I'm a believer that people can do what they want to do if they're adults. Live and let live. The Bible is my ultimate source of truth. It's everything that I believe. It's everything I stand on. If the Bible says it, I believe it. That settles it. But I know that not everyone believes that. And I think adults have a right to live how they want to live. But what we see in our culture and our society, people that have those views that are antithetical to the Bible, it feels like they're trying to shove those down our throats. And so I started to speak out and talk out against that stuff. And as I was running for Congress, that's the things I stood on. Frizz, play this or show this page. I want to take you guys to this. When I was running for Congress, I did a thing called the Pastor's Pledge. Yeah, the pastor's pledge. That's okay. We're still learning. My man Frizz is figuring this out as we go. But the pastor's pledge, you got our show sheets right there. Maybe just click it back to me until we can get the website up. It's all right. We're learning. We're figuring this thing out. But let me tell you guys a little bit about this. This is why Frontline Faith. This is why. Now, if you go to my website, alexbryant.org, and you can click on this thing called the Pastor's Pledge. Here's what this is all about. And I said, here's the Pastor's Pledge. I ran on this when I was running for Congress. I said, I'm a pastor, and I've dedicated my life to serving the church and preaching the gospel. Lately, I've been personally convicted. I've come to the conclusion that many of us American pastors have abdicated our responsibility to be God's voice to a nation struggling to discern truth and conflicted over right and wrong. We've been entrusted with the truth of the gospel, and if we retreat from proclaiming it, what hope does the world have? And then I go on to say, I was recently reminded of the 200 men of the tribe of Issachar. They served as advisors to King David. They discerned God's truth and they spoke up. They advised rules. They advised rules on what was good and what was true and what was right. And then I talk to pastors. I say this: we have those advisors, or pastors. We are those advisors of Issachar. And if you go back to, you study the book of that, and that's a little bit small there. If you can zoom in a little bit, Frizz. If not, and again, we're figuring this thing out. And so, bear with us. There we go. I'm trying to get it to you because I want to go over those 7 little things. Yeah, keep that going on there. But there's in the Bible, when in 1 Chronicles chapter 12, when King David was trying to establish his kingdom, his rule, he called together. And people came that were soldiers, that were warriors. Some were good with the bow and arrow. Some were good with the sword, with the right hand or left hand. But then it says in 1 Chronicles 12:32, from the tribe of Issachar, men who understood the times and knew what Israel should do. There were 200 of them. They were chiefs, and they had all their relatives under their command. God has been saying to me, to become a man of Issachar, one who's able to understand the times, to see what's going on in our culture, see what's happening in our environment, and to know which way we ought to go. To be a person, a man who speaks up and speaks out and says, this is what the Bible says, this is what's right, this is what's true. And to proclaim that truth, to stand on it, to live it out, to speak about it boldly, and to not back down. And so from that, and I've been doing this as I travel and speak. I'm a minister with Alex Bryant Ministers. I'm on the road about 40 weekends out of the year. We're preaching somewhere. I'm telling people about becoming a man and a woman of Issachar, people that understand what God has to say to us, who reads the Word of God, who knows what the Bible's teaching us, and who's standing on it, and who's not afraid to proclaim it, even in the midst of the persecution of the blowback that we're getting from secular culture. It's not popular to speak out against the LGBTQ agenda because it's very prevalent right now. And I don't hate people that are gay, bisexual, trans, whatever. I don't hate you. But I do call it out as a sin because that's what the Bible says. All sexual sin is a sin. Whether it's heterosexual sex, homosexual sex, sex outside of marriage, it's a sin. And we have to be people that stand on that and that proclaim that boldly, faithfully, without backing down and without compromise. And so I looked at when I was running for Congress with the Pastor's Pledge, there were 7 key areas that I would talk about. And click back to this over here, if you will, Frizz, on my website. And the first one is this: life is given by God. I'm not going to go through all these because, again, I'm not going to go through in depth all of them. You can go to my website, alexbryant.org. You can check it out and see what I'm saying. But the first one says life is given by God. This is talking strictly to the abortion epidemic that's happening. We in America have killed 60, 70, 80, 90 million babies because of choice. No, life is given by God. He is the creator of, He is creator of life from the moment of conception. Life must be protected and given the dignity of God's highest creation. Then I give you a couple scriptures. See, these are theological issues. The Bible talks about them. Culture is discussing them. Society is discussing them on Facebook, social media, and even in the real media. But we've relegated them to the political arena. I'm saying we need to take them back. This is, life is not a political issue. We should all stand for life. The babies have a right to live. I don't want it to be a political issue. And because then pastors are afraid to talk about it. Churches don't want to talk about it. This is a theological issue. God speaks on it. And so that's the deal with the pastor's pledge. I'm looking at these theological issues, the issues that the Bible's talked about, that society is definitely grappling with them right now. They're looking for direction. They're looking for leadership. They want people to see what the truth is, and they want people to stand on that. And then I believe that the majority of people in the United States are good people, and they're willing to stand on truth, righteousness, goodness. But we need to know what it is. So these are theological issues that society's grappling with, they're talking about, but we have relegated them to the political arena. We got to take them back. We got to take them back. And then we have to go into politics, and we have to speak on these things to influence the way people think, the way they believe, the way policies are regulated. We have to, Christians, pastors, leaders, church, good conservatives, we have to speak on these theological issues. We have to talk about it. So that's why Frontline Faith, that's where I came up with it. I'm on the front line. I'm going to be talking about issues of our faith, and that's what we're going to be doing. So there's 7 of these pastors' pledges I talked about, and this is why Frontline Faith. A lot of time you're going to see over the course of this show, I'll be hitting back on a lot of these issues, these core beliefs, these 7 issues and more, obviously, but that's what Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant is all about. So you have life is given by God. The second one is this: religious freedom is an unalienable right given to us by our Creator. I said our allegiance is to Christ as King. All earthly power is derived from Him. The free practice of religion is the bedrock of American dignity. So that's going to be another one of them. We have freedom. Now, I'm going to say this. We're, again, first time we're doing our show. We're trying to figure stuff out. You're looking at the Frontline Faith. That's the logo there. We want you to memorize it. No, just kidding. We're having some we're trying to figure out this new system. My man Frizz and Todd, we're all new to this. We're trying to figure it out as we go. So bear with us. Don't click off. It's not stalled or whatnot. So my guy Todd is going to try to figure out how to help us with this. But I'll keep it going. This is the pastor's pledge. Another one, God has ordained marriage as a symbol of His relationship with humanity and the message of the gospel. Marriage between a man and a woman. And we have to make sure that we know that we're speaking on that boldly. We're standing on it. It's a conservative principle. That's the way that God's going to use to populate marriage between a man and a woman. The fourth one is this: God has entrusted the family with the sacred responsibility of education and character formation. I believe that. I got 5 kids. I'm the priest of my home. I'm the one. Me and my wife are the ones that are supposed to determine what our kids learn, what they know, and we take our views and our values from the Bible. We tell our kids it's the ultimate source of truth, and we read it on a daily basis. We live it out. The Bible is our ultimate source of truth. For you get to decide for your family what is the most important. And that's kind of what we're talking about. This is a part of, again, the pastor's pledge. Another one: racial reconciliation must be obtained through grace and repentance, not further division. We started our ministry, Alex Bryant Ministry, with our book, Let's Start Again, a biracial couple's view on race, racial ignorance, and racial insensitivity. That's what we started talking about. We made a video. It went viral, 51 million views on Facebook. People started to see what we had to say about the races. We said it's not black versus white. It's not the people versus the police. It's dark versus light. Satan's been using the sin of racism to divide us and distract us for years, but we say no more. And so we believe in racial reconciliation. You know me. You've seen me. I'm a big, bald, beautiful black man. If you know us, you know that I am married to a beautiful, small little white girl. Yeah, that's right. For almost 29 years, Angela Bryant has been my lady. We've been married. And so we're in a biracial relationship. Our kids are biracial. And so we see the world differently. Now, I talk about these issues. I use humor a lot of times to talk about them, but we don't shy away from them. But we ultimately believe in reconciliation. Alex Bryant Ministries exists to reconcile people to God first, ourselves, then each other. And we do it through written, spoken, and media content. This Frontline Faith is the next part of our media content. So we've written a couple books. You'll hear about those along the way. But this is what Frontline Faith is all about. And then I say this: God offers hope and freedom to those caught in addiction. This is number 6. We believe in addiction recovery, and we believe that it's through God. I used to be the program director, or actually I used to oversee a teen challenge program. My wife used to be the program director of a teen challenge. There is hope for those caught in addiction. I'll bring on people, that's something that we'll go to on a regular basis. We'll talk about that. We're going to address that issue, addiction. And so that we're going to address it. And then we believe that our military and our police carry a sacred responsibility. We love police. We love the military. Their sacred responsibility doesn't mean they always get it right, but we support them, and that's the deal. So that's the pastor's pledge, and that's what Frontline Faith, that's the why behind what we're doing here. So what can you expect from Frontline Faith? Every episode, I'll be talking about life through a conservative lens. That's the plan. Every episode, we'll be talking about social events, theological events, ministry events, sports, even politics. That's what Frontline Faith is all about, life through a conservative lens. I'll have interviews. I'll have guests. If you listen to me on Wake Up Springfield, KWTO, some of those same guests, we're going to be bringing them on. And so that's the exciting part about it. And again, those will be coming. So that's what you can expect. And so how and where can you watch? Well, this is the deal. First of all, join the ABM mailing list. Go to alexbryant.org. Go there to our website, alexbryant.org. And if you scroll to the bottom of the page, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it'll say join the mailing list. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything to join. alexbryant.org. Frizz is doing it right now. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. There's some of our books there. There's what we're all about there. And then down at the bottom, you'll see right there, subscribe to our mailing list. If you get on our mailing list, you're always going to get updates on what we're doing, when we're doing it, how we're doing it. You'll have updates on where we're speaking at, our products, our media that we do, emails that we send out, our prayer list. Go to alexbryan.org and subscribe to our mailing list. So how and where can you watch our podcast? Right now, you're probably streaming it on my Facebook page. Is that right? Yep. So I'm getting a thumbs up on that. Now I'm going to tell you this. Because Facebook's getting a little bit leery. You saw this, how they were conservatives. They're a little bit, you can't depend on and bank on Facebook for the long term. Over this last administration, we saw how if you were conservative, they shadow ban you, they play with the algorithms, whatnot. So you're connecting with us right now here, but we need you to move with us. If you're liking the show, maybe you don't want to right now, but if you're liking the show, there's a couple things. Go to Frontline Faith. That's going to be our Facebook group. And I think about 250 of you have already gone there. Like that, subscribe it. You'll get a notification of when we're on that. Okay. So we're going to be starting it on Facebook. You'll go there, but also it's going to be on my YouTube, Alex Bryant Ministries YouTube. Are we on that right now or no? No. So that we'll put these on there, but eventually we'll be going live to my YouTube. But for now, I'm encouraging you, all these different things. Take the time now to move with us, because we can't depend on just Facebook giving us what we need. I can't always depend on them connecting you and I. We got something special here. Something special. Do you feel it? Okay, maybe you don't feel it just yet. Frizz, you feel it or no? I love the Frizz laugh, man. That's what I love. But go with us, because we're going to give you a good product. I got a lot of good stuff planning. We're going to give you a good product. You got to move with us. So go to, if you get to our mailing list, alexbryan.org, and you give us your email, you'll know how we're going to move all these different things where you can go, because we're going to be on YouTube. We're going to be on Rumble. We already have those accounts set up. X will eventually get to that, and those are on my ministry sites, and then of course the Facebook and the Frontline Faith Facebook, but and Alex Bryant Ministries page. There's a lot of different ways that you're connecting with us. We're going to keep you and move you, because eventually, if this thing goes how we want it to, a year from now, we got to move it to YouTube and Rumble. That's got to be the places where you go. Rumble is like the conservative thing where we know they're not going to demonetize us. They're not going to take us off because we say something that they disagree with, like in COVID. If you say, I don't want to get the vaccination or whatever it is, we have to make sure that if there's a platform that isn't the most kind to conservatives in our views and our values, we have to be on our own. So Rumble is kind of where we're going to get to. YouTube and Rumble. We'll be able to own that content. We'll be able to own our distribution list. So for now, alexbryan.org, go there. And then Planet 417. Again, I'm not the most tech savvy guy, but that's kind of that's basically the home for my show. Is that the best way of saying it, Todd? Sponsors. They're the sponsors. Yeah, the host. It's the host. The host of the show Frontline Faith with Pastor Alex Bryant. That's Will Worsham. He owns Planet 417, and so you can go to you can go there and check it out. Planet417.com. Is that what it is? Planet417.com. And if all else fails, if something goes on, you can always stream it there. We got about 6 or 7 different ways we're streaming this. We'll eventually be streaming it live. This is the first show. We're working out all the different things. So that's kind of the deal there. I think I got it all. That's the what, the why, the who we are. Let's dive into some content, shall we? I've been itching to talk about stuff, man. I was done on the radio December 20th, and I took a couple weeks off. I just let my brain just rest. I let my body rest because I was waking up at 3:30, 3:45 a.m. every single day, and then I'd go on the weekends and preach somewhere, fly here, fly there, whatever. So I took some time off. The family came in for the holidays, and we had some good family time. We played games. I took naps. We slept in. We went to movies. We ate a lot of food, a lot of treats. But I just, people were saying, hey, did you see this? They're sending me messages. I'm like, I don't know what happened. I wasn't paying attention to politics, media, whatever. But I'm back on it. I've been re-engaging, and so that's the deal there. Let me tell you what we're gonna be doing today on Frontline Faith, episode 1. Today we'll go over some of the major news events of the day. That's obviously the California wildfires. That's been just totally dominating the news. I got some thoughts on that. We're going to give you some stuff on that. And then after that, and maybe around 10 or so, we'll give you a top, what I'm going to call the top few news stories of the day. So I got a few of them, the quick hitters. We'll go through those a little bit at a time. I'll tell you about some of the relevant, pertinent issues. And the final piece of this, we'll talk about what people are talking about. So that's things that's talking about in the news, the water cooler at work, and conversations, Facebook. I'll give you what people are talking about. So that's how Frontline Faith with Pastor Alex Bryant's going to go down for the day. So let's dive into this, shall we? Are we ready? Crew, we ready? Go. I kind of almost feel like, just because, here's the deal, Frizz, I'm going to throw you, I kind of want to play my opening again because that's cool. Like my friend Todd Nicholson put that together. Can we? Frontline Faith with Pastor Alex Bryant. Man, I'm telling you what, I'm excited. This is like just a shout out to, again, my friend Todd. He put together a lot of this for me, and his daughter Tess did our logo. Shout out to Tess Nicholson. And then of course, Frizz. We've been brainstorming, and it's here. And so let's dive into this. So you guys have been watching it, unless you've been asleep at the wheel, out of the country, in a coma. But these fires out in California, they are blazing. It's been over a week now. And here's what's happened. 24 people so far are dead. 24 people have lost their lives because of these fires. There's been about 12 to 15,000 structures that have been burned. That's people's houses, that's businesses, schools, churches, stores. Unbelievable. Like they're saying 12 for sure, up to 15,000 structures. I just can't even imagine that. I can't even fathom that. I saw an aerial image from satellites, and it showed how much was burning, and it's like basically like city block after block after block. And so just breaking this down, there's about 3 different fires that were burning. It started in the Palisades in the area that's northern LA. It started there last Monday. 23,000 acres have burned, and it's only about 14% contained. We're talking over a week, it's only 14% contained. And now they're a little bit nervous because what's fanning the flames of that are the hurricane force winds. Now, I've been in a hurricane. I lived in Florida, was born there. My youngest son, Joshua, was born during a hurricane. It turned out being downgraded to a tropical storm, but I know what it's like to be in a hurricane, knowing that it's coming, all the winds, the bands come in, and then all of a sudden, when the eye comes in, like when you're in the middle of it, and it just gets really nice, the sun comes out, and you're like, what's going on here? This is eerie. And then the other bands come through, and they follow you through. I know what it's like being in that. Don't know what it's like being in one of these wildfires. Absolute craziness going on. Dangerous drought conditions. There was a spark high winds, 100 miles per hour, and it caused this fire to spread. That was in Palisades. Now, I'm going to show you a video, and this is a footage of some people. This is one of the earlier days, one of the first couple of days, a couple of guys trying to save their house, and they end up finally trying to say it's not going to work. So are we ready with that clip? Play this clip, Frizz.
All right, dude. So, yeah, let's get out of here. We tried, bro. I'm sorry. We tried our best. Yeah, and when this tree falls, it's over. I'm sorry, bro. We gotta get out of here.
Can you imagine? I can't even imagine. Like, that's like a scene from a movie. You're in your house, you're trying to hope that your house is being saved, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, you're trying, you've done it, and you hear story after story after story about that. That's the crazy thing about X, which on this show I'll say X, but I mean Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, can somebody call Elon Musk and say, bro, it didn't work?
It's Twitter, people. Come on.
It's Twitter. I mean, come on. Todd, can you get on that? It's Twitter.
Let me call him.
Because what do? It's X, but do you tweet on X? Do you X? What do you do?
I guess you post on X.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
But tweeting sounds better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's Twitter. But so anyway, I'm trying to be respectful. It's X, but like there's video after video of this, and so then you see this fire that was started in Palisades, and again, 23,000 acres have been burned. We can't even fathom how much that is. Football field after football field. They said it was literally at one point in time when it started, and there's reports on how it started. They don't even really know. They haven't got to the heart of that yet, but they said it was moving at as fast as 5 football fields every minute. That's moving, people. That's crazy. And then, so you had that fire that was in the Palisades. It was northern LA, just a little bit north of LA. And then all of a sudden, there was a jump. There was a fire that jumped to Eaton. It's 25 to 30 miles north of Palisades. There, 14,000 acres burned. It's only 33% contained. And then, all of a sudden, fire jumped to the east of Eaton, which is a little bit more north of the Palisades, and, the west of Eaton, and Hearst. It's just west of Eaton. About 800 acres have been burned there. That's about 95% contained. Now, here's the deal. According to the news, CNN said that the fire jumped to Eaton from the Palisades. Now, that's like 25, 30 minutes away, 25, 30 miles. How's the fire going to jump like that? Can somebody tell me how? This is the thing. Like, there's so many questions. Now, if you know me, if you listen to me on the radio, you know that I'm not a conspiracy theorist, okay? That's just not who I am. But I'm listening. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not one of you guys, you know, and I'll start calling people out. I mean, should I start giving names right now? Like, should I mention my buddy Shad McGuire?
Shad McGuire, you better be listening.
He is the biggest conspiracy theorist, one of them. Teresa Collier, she's from KWTO. My mom's a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, if you will. There's people I know. I'm not one of you, but I'm listening. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not dismissing everything you say, but some things you guys are a little bit out there on. You know what I mean? Todd, like, if we got legal here, can I do like some things? Like, is that legal? Can I do that? Okay.
You're not on the radio anymore, so yeah, you can.
Some things you conspiracy theorists say are out there, okay? But I'm listening to you. I'm entertaining what you have to say. I'm not agreeing with everything. But can you tell me how fire supposedly jumped like 25 miles? Like, come on, people. Don't give me this global warming stuff, you know. And then so some are speculating that it's arson. They're speculating that. And there's been reports, there's been some videos about that. And I'm going to go into that a little bit later, but, about the arson stuff, because something don't smell right. If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it ain't a mongoose. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be a duck. You know what the brother said? Like, something is fishy. And I'm just telling you, it's like, this is crazy stuff. How's this fire going to so-called jump? Winds blowing, whatever. No, I don't buy that. So some are saying there's arson. Again, I'm going to come back to that. Put a pin in that. We're going to come back to the arson. But from the time I started to pick up on this story, because again, over the last couple of weeks, I've just kind of been chilling. I've been taking some time, do my own thing. I haven't been closely monitoring the news like I used to. I usually watch the news 2, 3, 4 hours a day, but over the last couple of weeks, I haven't been because I've been off. But I've been watching, and I've had some issues, and I've noticed a couple of these major issues with this story. First of all, people predicted this was going to happen, these California wildfires. there's video on Twitter right now where Trump is. This is kind of crazy getting a call while I'm live on the YouTube. But anyway,
Live video.
Yeah, but there's video of Trump out in California back in 2018 with Gavin Newsom saying, "Hey, you guys got to clean up this brushes. This whole want to keep it all natural. No, bro, it's not working. Like there's too much. This is a wildfire hazard. Forestry. People are saying that things need to be done differently, and but because of it's really policies." It's policies. Well, we want things to be natural. Global warming is a real thing. We don't want to take the brush. We don't want to fill up the water reservoirs. There's people were predicting this is going to happen. If you have that much burnable brush, it's you had the campfire fire that happened out in California up in the Northeast just a couple years ago. We've seen this stuff happen. You can't just leave it natural like that. So that was a big issue. Trump and others were warning him. And then here's another thing that we saw, an issue right away. Will Worsham, does he put on there? Also, Planet 417. You can always watch it right there. That's a good thing. I saw it. I saw the. I love it now that I can get the live updates on here. It comes to my computer. That's way cool. Also, watch live on X at the Planet 417.
It's Twitter,
thanks,
but
Will.
yeah, I guess it is called
Twitter, X, whatever it is, the Planet 417. So here's another thing. People are talking about the California leaders. They just weren't ready. There's no denying that. I mean, Gavin Newsom allegedly, and I say allegedly, he didn't fill the water reservoirs to protect. But why didn't he do it? They're saying because he wanted to protect the endangered animal fish called smelt. What's a smelt? What is a smelt? Like who even knows what's going on with that? And so he's denying that. He's saying, no, that's not the issue. That's all hearsay. That's all rumor. That's what Trump was saying. Trump saying they did not fill the water reservoirs because they wanted this smelt deal to be there. And so that's bad right there. And then you have the mayor. He was out of the country. Or she was out of the country, Mayor Karen Bass. Just crazy stuff like it's happening all around us. This is I love this live studio. We got Todd. If you come on camera, do I have to pay you or no?
Yes.
I'm gonna double your salary.
All right.
Okay, so ask him what his salary is, bro. He's got the friend payment. He's getting paid. This is friendship. I might buy him lunch once every 3 weeks or something, or every 3 years. Actually, he makes more than me, so he buys my. Do you pay? Who pays for our lunches?
I don't know.
Yeah, probably you. Okay, so. We're at least gonna have some fun. Yeah, we saw our on the back here. We had our logo that was up there, and it went off. So Todd's trying to figure that out. So bear with me on this one. But so the mayor Karen Bass, she was out of the country when this all happened. She was representing. I guess Biden sent her over to another country to go into inauguration. So, yeah, I don't see anything on there. I don't know if you guys are still watching me. It looks like a black screen over here, but maybe that's just computer. Are we still on, Frizz? All right, cool. So, but then when she was flying back, she was unprepared. So here's the people are like, why is the mayor out of the country? I don't falter for that. That's me personally. I get it. If I know of other political leaders and mayors, and they sometimes leave their area. You go on other trips, humanitarian. I don't fault you for that. I'm not. Whether it was a vacation, whatever. However, on her way back, it's a 14-hour trip. Here's the biggest thing I falter for. She was not prepared. She took her first news conference, and man, she was like, huh? What? There's an issue? What's happening here? She was unprepared, had no comment, didn't have anything to say. If you know this issue's happening, you're on a 14-hour flight back to your city. You have to be briefed. You have to know what's going on. And her initial response did not instill confidence in people. And that's a major issue. And so people are questioning their leadership, her and Newsom. And then now, this is always the fun stuff. They're going to start the blame game. You look at, now let's just break this down. You have literally a Democrat president, Biden, for another 6 days. You got a Democrat state, California, and you got a Democrat mayor of Los Angeles, they can't blame no Republicans for this one. I mean, this is, what are you Democrats doing? This is you. I mean, you can't be, there's no scapegoat on this one. And so now what's going to happen is they're going to start to turn on each other. They're going to start the blame game, because Newsom, he wants to be the president eventually. 2028, that brother's going to be running. He is. So, but here's the biggest thing. How in the world did they not have any water available in the fire hydrants? Like they're saying on the first day at 5 o'clock, they ran out of water. They had no water pressure. So these houses are literally being burned. And literally, we said this, 20-some people have been killed because why? There's no water in the fire hydrants. Supposedly, there was a reservoir that was supposed to be filled up. They didn't fill that up. And then now you're looking at no water in the reservoirs. Why? There just doesn't even make any sense to not have any water in the reservoirs. And so there we go. We just had another technical. This is fun. I'm loving. I'm trying to do this. I'm watching you two over there. This is fun watching. We'll get it together soon. Todd just walked in front of it. Good thing you didn't show that logo. No. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Wow. Okay, this is for right there. That right there. No, he just changed it out. No, let him show it. Let him show a little logo here. This is for all you locals here in the area. Todd is representing Red Kingdom. Chiefs, no, over there. Todd's figured out. You're the tech. Go to the other side. Oh my goodness! Oh, you saw it a little bit there. There's the Chiefs. He's a Chiefs fan over here. Frizz, you're not a Chiefs fan. You are. How about them Cowboys?
How about him, I guess.
and then we know who I rep, the Bears. End of the show. Oh wait, we're over here on this camera. The Bears. End of the show. We're going to go into that. Okay, on my show, we're going to talk about some sports sometimes, and today we got to give you the playoff picture. But going back to this, how do you not have water available? It is a dry season. They said they hadn't had rain there since March, April, May, something like that. You got brush all over the ground. You got a history of fires happening out there. How could you not be prepared? I mean, someone has to give some answers. And they're going, well, let's not talk politics right now. When do we start talking politics? Because the minute someone is shot in a school, Democrats are always going, it's the guns. They don't hold off on it. It's the guns. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. That's major, because literally people died. No water available. That's just ridiculous. To protect a smelt, to protect some endangered fish that end up being, it went away anyway. We know smelt. I don't even know what a smelt is. They didn't even want to fill up reservoirs. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. And this is why policies matter. Who we elect matters. And crazy California's been crazy for a while in their leadership, and now it's caught up with you. There's no way for Gavin Newsom to escape this. He's been in leadership in California as the lieutenant governor, the governor, since 2012. This guy has had power and authority there in California, and they messed up on this one. There's also been questions about the fire leaders. And again, the DEI stuff, they showed a picture of the chief of the fire chief, the assistant, and then one of their trainers, and they're gay women, LGBTQ, trans people, and they're pushing that. See, this is where an issue comes up with the issue with the case for DEI. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because right now I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I'm mentioning it because this is what people are talking about. I'll say this. If you're an adult, I wish that you would live the way the Bible says and wait till you're married to have sex with your wife or your husband alone. But in America, that's not our standard. I mean, who cares who you're sleeping with? Who cares who you identify as? When it comes time to choosing a fire chief, assistant chief, leadership, I don't care who you're sleeping with. I don't care what gender you identify as. Here's the question. Are you qualified to do the job? Are you qualified to get the job done? Those are the things that matter. Are you qualified, and can you get the job done? And situations like this cause people to question hiring. Women, LGBTQ minorities, and this is a shame because when you try to put quotas in, and when you try to say like I remember when Trump, the assassination attempt, and the director of the Secret Service is like, well, we want the Secret Service to be made of 30% women. Trump's a 6'3", 200+ dude. I don't know a lot of women that can protect that brother like that, you know? So it's not about quotas. It's not about what you identify as. It's not about, are you gay? Are you women, men? It's about, are you qualified and can you get the job done? And so that's the deal there. Those are some of the major issues. We'll keep following this story, but that's the deal there. Now, let me go to this, and I mentioned this earlier. I want to talk about these arsonists, these suspected and alleged arsonists. Now, there's videos going around, apparently, that are showing people with, you know, this arson stuff. Frizz, play this this first little clip here that I have right there.
Yeah, the fire that he started right now, he lit the match or lit something. It's in the dam, the south side of the dam. There's a fire going now.
This is so-called how the fires jumped 25, 30 miles.
Okay, he's walking west.
On the dam.
On the dam. On the south side of the dam.
Towards Burbank.
So this guy supposedly just lit this fire there. They've watched it, now they're videoing it, they're sending it to authorities. This would be crazy. There have been many reports from people saying that people are lighting fires, and they even have them on camera. Many of them. That's good. I mean, that's just a part of what we're seeing here. You can fade that one out there. One person said they've literally seen about 20 people. There's been videos, 20 different people. They're reporting it to authorities. They all look similar. They're wearing black, and they're starting these fires. And they're talking about how it could be like Antifa, trying to create chaos. They're wearing all black. They're Antifa looking. Other people are being arrested for arson. Show this clip. This is, you know, there's footage right here. The LA police, they arrested 39-year-old homeless arson suspect. His name is Jose Carranza Escobar. He was, they say that he was steps from a small brush fire that he admitted to lighting. And then you see the picture of the cop arresting. He admitted to lighting it. Why in the world? Why? Like, I just don't even get that. Like, how are you going to start, people are dying, people are losing everything. What's the point? What's the message that you want to give? That global warming's real, global warming, and that we're killing our environment? Well, no, you're harming it by trying to start a fire intentionally. That's what arson is. And people died. People lost everything. Can you imagine losing everything? Your baby pictures, your important documents, your memorabilia. I collect baseball cards. I have books, like losing those. I got a book from when my aunt who raised me, when she passed. It was the only thing that I got from her. I got a book. You know, I got, stuff from when my dad passed, when my grandma passed. Those are invaluable to us, to people. And out in California, you got some people, movie stars or whoever, maybe you don't like them, or you maybe say, well, you don't agree with their politics, but still they've earned an Oscar. They've earned an Emmy. Things are gone. Now, well, things can be replaced, sure. Yeah, Olympic, yeah, like I heard about that. The dude, that swimmer that lost like all his gold medal. I mean, this is like, can you imagine some person, and the sad reality is, and I don't know this to be the case yet, I'm going to report on it a little bit later. I do know that some of them have been reported to have been illegal immigrants, but that's not what this story is about. Some of these are Americans, but people that just are with nefarious intent. Why? Like, where? I don't get that. Starting the fires. And then here's another thing I don't get. What's up with these looters? Like, we're talking about people are experiencing, like, we're talking loss of life. There, I heard of one story about this gentleman. He was a paraplegic. He, he was the amputee, lost his leg, and the fires were coming. He told his family to leave, but he had a son who was bedridden, quadriplegic, and the dad, who was an amputee, they were hoping that the fires would miss him, but they didn't miss him. And they end up finding their charred bodies. The dad was in a chair next to the bed of his son. They died. I mean, this is where this thing, like, yes, maybe, and again, we don't know the cause of these fires yet. Some saying maybe it was a spark from, a transformer or something like that. Could have been, a mistake. It could have been a natural disaster. But to have people that they know are trying to fan these flames to keep these fires going, it's so-called jumped from Palisades to Eaton and Hearst, 25, 30 minutes away. Come on, people. Come on, man. You know what I'm talking about. That's the times where I wish we had a close-up because I want you. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Come on. Like, why? Like, how low of a person? Like a arsonist and a looter. Your neighbors. Like, I live in Nixa. I can't imagine. And I'm gonna say this. I can't imagine if a tornado comes through. And I've had a tornado hit my house. When we lived up in Kansas City, we had a tornado come and it hit our house 3 or 4 blocks. And I remember just walking out as soon as it was over, I felt the thup on my house. You hear the locomotive, pulled siding from my wall, pulled my chimney from my wall. We had to go into our storage room down there. I can't even imagine like in the devastation, because some people in our couple blocks over from us lost their homes. And we're talking minutes later, you're walking, you're seeing it. The next day you go and you see this stuff. I can't imagine going through my neighbor's stuff or having people from outside come in and try to loot them. Come on, man. Like, what kind of people are doing this? Play this video right here, Frizz. I went too fast. That's okay. Maybe just let me know if you can get it ready. But if not, no worries. But that about 29 people. No, wrong one. That's going to be a good one we're going to get to later, but not right now. This is what's up with the looters. But there's the sheriff of the county. He gave an update about these looters, and it's really sad that they have to talk about not that one either. That's all right. But 29 people have been arrested for looting. A couple of them were dressed like, and this is a sad thing, they were dressed up and pretending like they were firemen and then going into people's neighborhoods and stealing their stuff. I saw a report, there was one where they got $200,000 from someone that had just left their home. And so, yeah, are you ready for this clip? Go ahead and play this clip.
Last night and this morning, last night and this morning, we are up to 20 individuals who chose to go into our areas and deprive these poor people who have been through so much of their property. Absolutely unacceptable. And I'm going to give direction to our department members. As you know, when we have an evacuation order by law, if you remain in that area, you are guilty of a misdemeanor. If you commit certain crimes, it could jump up to a felony. I'm going to be asking our employees to start enforcing that. That is very different than a curfew. Why? Because it's 24/7. I don't have to wait for the sun to go down.
I mean, I just can't even fathom that. What kind of a person would loot? What kind of a person during a time like that, where your neighbors, where other Americans, they've literally lost everything? I saw another story of survivors, a couple. They said they literally got their 2 daughters dressed in the middle of the night. They're wearing their pajamas, and they had nothing because they didn't think that it was going to come to their neighborhood, and it jumped. This jumped a couple blocks. The husband calls his wife at 3 a.m. He was 3 blocks away. He's like, I'm coming home. It's coming fast. Can you imagine it moving at the speed of 5 football fields a minute? So, yeah, all you have time to do is get your kids in the car and get out. And then somebody looting your stuff, or maybe your home did survive and people are going in and stealing it. I just can't even fathom that. So just terrible stuff. Terrible. So we're going to keep looking at this story. You're watching it. I'm watching it. Here's a couple other things that we need to know. And this is sad. The forecast for the next couple of days is supposed to be increasing wind. And that's going to be bad, because this is how these fires overall, when you look at in the Palisades, it's less than 13% contained. That means that the wind's going to be blowing. I mean, you got these embers that are just going to be going all over. Hurricane level winds, that's 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. And that's terrible. There's video on X or Twitter of people escaping on a motorcycle and flames are hitting them. I saw the video. The guy's like, yeah, you just felt like these burns at you, like this hitting you. Like, and it's just searing you. And so that's bad. There's ongoing efforts in anticipation of more high winds, and with many of the smaller fires being contained, they're bringing in fire crews from all over. More than 5,200 firefighters have been deployed to the Palisades from other different places. They have the Super Scooper. That's a firefighting aircraft that was previously damaged by a drone. It'll fly again today, so that's going to be used. They're picking up water from the ocean. They're putting, but again, because this reservoir that contains hundreds of thousands, if not millions of gallons, it's empty. They got no water pressure. People are trying to use pumps, water pumps, to get pressure from their pools to be able to fight these flames. But when flames are blowing, when the wind's blowing 100 miles an hour, how can you fight that? The firefighters now are trying to make sure they remove, and using volunteers, even prisoners, to remove brush that was that's there so that it doesn't burn. Maybe kind of creating a perimeter to where it stops on. I heard a story of a veteran, a military veteran, a lady, and she tells a story about how the fire, they saw it coming down the mountains, and then they thought, well, it's a ways from us, it's not going to get to the city. And if it got to them, they lived on the ocean. If it got to them, it'd have to burn through the whole city. Well, literally, like half a day later, that's their reality. And I guess in some of these areas, there's one road in and one road out. That road had been blocked. So people just left their cars in the road, and they couldn't escape. So the authorities were telling people, go to the ocean. Can you imagine watching your house burn, everything that you own burn, you can't get anything out, and you are trying to preserve your own life, your family's life, by going to the ocean and waiting for a boat to pick you up and seeing the fire come at you? This is a military veteran, a woman that had served our country. That was her story. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And that's what people are dealing with. And so federal assistance, the U.S. military aircraft, they've dropped more than 16,000 gallons of fire suppressant. That's what they're doing. They're trying to suppress it from going other places. 1,800 California National Guardsmen, they've been there activated to assist. They've evacuated people. More than 92,000 people are under evacuation orders. But some neighbors are saying they want to try to stay and save their home, try to save their stuff. This is crazy. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. And this is what's happening. The LA Police Department, they're there to stop people. They're not letting you come in and out, and because of the looters. Schools are closed. These are things I'm looking at on this. In that area, obviously, some schools are burned down. They don't even know when they're going to be coming back. Crazy. Churches are burned, supermarkets. Elon Musk is sending over some cyber trucks with his Starlink so that they can get on Wi-Fi. But where are you going to charge your phone? Your house is burned. And again, the possible cause, fire agencies are still investigating it. Even while it's ongoing, they're investigating whether the Edison electrical equipment contributed to the Hearst fire. That fire was reported around 10:10 p.m. when a circuit experienced a relay. So they're saying maybe it was a circuit, maybe it's arson. They don't know. So again, they're using a lot of people to help remove some of the debris so that it doesn't burn even more. They always tell us, people say, well, thoughts and prayers are never enough. Well, I'm a man of faith. And sometimes that's all we have. Sometimes all we can do is send out our thoughts and let people know that we're praying for them. And I am truly praying for people that I know in California. I'm supposed to be there in about 3 weeks. I'm going to Northern California, the Sacramento area. I know a lot of pastors out there. I know people out in LA. One of my surrogate sons, he's stationed at Fort Irwin there in LA. I mean, 30 miles an hour from this whole deal. My thoughts and my prayers are definitely going out to people in California. Now, I know there's some people that are saying this is what they get, because just a day before this fire started, you got the Hollywood elite or the Golden Globes basically mocking God. I don't know if you saw the video of Nikki Glaser. She was the host of the Golden Globes, and she's saying, hey, let's look and see who people are thanking. They've sent out there's been 11 mentions to the cast and to the agents. There's been 3 mentions to mom, but there's been 0 mentions to thank God, the creator of the universe and this godless nation. And I mean, that's a clip going around, and I hear that. I understand it. But here's what I know. God is not going to be mocked. God doesn't need us to defend him. God wants us to be love, kind, and pray for people who are depraved, who are not living the life they should live. We know that Hollywood's not giving us, they're not the best bastion of morality and definitely not faith and Christianity. But I'm praying for those people. I pray that they have an opportunity to come to know God. I don't wish a disaster like this on anyone. My biggest enemy, the biggest heathen, I wouldn't wish it on any of them. I think that our response is definitely thoughts and prayers, and definitely pray for them. Pray that they have an opportunity to repent. Pray that something like this, a disaster like this, where 29, 30 lives have already been lost, that it turns people's hearts back to God. That's what Frontline Faith's about. I'm talking about these issues, but I want to help you see the bigger picture. And it's not, well, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. This is what you get, Hollywood. No, it's about we're no better than any of them. We've all sinned is what the Bible tells us. Romans 6:23, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory. Romans 3:23, we've all sinned. Our sin may not be what theirs is, but we've sinned. And we all need God's grace, his mercy, his kindness. That's what my prayer is for Hollywood. I pray that a lot of these actors come to know Jesus as a result of this. Thoughts and prayers are out to everyone in California who are being affected. Let's do this 417 promotion. When we come back from this, we're going to talk about the top stories of the day. Top few stories of the day. I don't know if it's going to be 3, 5 sometimes, but I'm going to say the top. Yeah, welcome back to Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. Man, I'm excited about this. Now, you just saw our opening. You saw Planet 417, my lovely assistant. Actually, we've established that he's not lovely and we don't want him on camera. But my buddy Todd is giving me a water refill. Thanks, sir. But yeah, eventually, and we're reaching out to some people. If you want to be one of the sponsors of this, man, we'd love to have you. We got room, we got space. We're going to look for a couple sponsors to help with this. When you do something like this, we're undertaking this. Alex Bryant Ministries is, so I guess we're one of the sponsors. But yeah, if you want to bring this to it, we're envisioning this going big and reaching and touching a lot of people. So we definitely need your help. Let's go to the top stories of the day. There's 3 of them that I'm going to mention today. Top stories of the day. The first one is this: Trump's cabinet pick confirmation. They start today, and it's starting with my guy Pete Hegseth. This is a funny thing. I'm going to play an audio clip on this. I see my guy Frizz. He's like crossed his fingers hoping that this works. But check this out. Let's see if we can give you this story, a little update on what's happening with Trump's confirmation picks.
14 confirmation hearings, 13 committees, 13 nominees. The Senate girding for confirmation battles this week. Republicans rushing to confirm as many nominees as fast as possible. The marquee event this week, the confirmation hearing for Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth. His allies expect a rough ride. Hegseth's supporters forming a rear guard to convince Senate skeptics. Fox confirms that Armed Services Committee Chairman Roger Wicker and the panel's top Democrat Jack Reed of Rhode Island studied the customary documents the FBI prepped for the transition team about Hegseth. Reed wonders about his readiness for the job.
So there's a quick little update. It's 6 days before Trump's inauguration, and the confirmation hearings are going. Now, there's supposed to be a few people that are coming before Congress today, this week. That's kind of touch and go. They're ahead of the game. They're getting these confirmations started even before Trump is inaugurated, because the goal is to give him his cabinet so he can get to work, handling business. That the people elected Trump for a reason. We're talking emphatically, overwhelmingly. I mean, it was a landslide, 312 electoral college votes. He also won the popular vote. Hadn't been done in 20 years by a Republican. Laid the smack down on Kamala Harris. Would have laid the smack down on Joe Byron. There it is, Joe Byron. We need that. I love it. If you listen to us on KWTO, you know we always did that. If you know, you know. Byron. But Trump won emphatically, and the people are saying overwhelmingly, like literally Republicans, red, it increased on 47 out of 50 states. They went more red. People are saying they want Trump back in office. They want his politics. They want his policies. And so now we want his people that are going to bring about his policies in office. And Pete Hegseth, Trump chose him to lead his nomination for Department of Defense. Now, I know Pete. Well, I don't know him, but I followed Pete Hegseth for a while. I often will check out Fox and Friends Weekends. He has been, since about 2017, one of the hosts of Fox and Friends Weekends. He's a host there. I've read a couple of his books. I should have written these down, but I didn't, so I'm going from memory. I think it's The Battle for the American Mind. That book was all about how DEI and CRT is infiltrating our schools. It's a great book. He talks about how, remember when everybody was saying, CRT, it's there, it's critical race theory, and DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's all about the race. It's all about in our schools, and there's policies and there's practices. And people were looking for these things like that are signs of CRT, and you weren't finding them because the left would come out and say, well, no, that's just a college theory or whatever. And so Pete Hegseth got to the root of it. He says, listen, you're probably not going to see a handout that says, this is critical race theory. This is what we're teaching your kids, because it's in the pedagogy. That means they're baking it in the cake. It's who they are. These professors and these teachers, they are very much immersed in the tenets of critical race theory that say that white people, most of you guys, are white supremacists. That's what critical race theory is all about. Your ancestors are white supremacists. You guys are white supremacy. America was built for white people, which, we can have a conversation about that. Black people were 3/5. Let's be real. But, we've corrected, America's corrected. And then they say that black people were inherently victims. Now, stop and think about that. For me, I reject that wholly, emphatically, because I don't want my kids growing up to think that my wife's side of the family are natural white supremacist racists, and that my side of the family, we're all victims who are dependent upon white people for everything we get and all that we need. No, I reject that. We know that America has a checkered past. We know that there's been issues, but we, by and large, have worked to correct those as a country. America, and again, I'm not saying that we are free of racism, because there still are a few knuckleheads that are racist, but I find, especially when I was running for Congress, I was all over Southwest Missouri. I was down in Licking. I was down in Granby, Mount Vernon, Neosho. I found that there's a lot of good people, black, white, yellow, red, brown, I don't care what color you are, who aren't racist. Now, again, there are some knuckleheads, but we come together to stand against them. And so this whole notion that America is racist, and when you hear people like Ibram Kendi write his book, How to Become an Anti-Racist, which says, admit that you're a white supremacist, white person, admit it, and then they say that black people are victims. I reject that mess. I'm not about that life. And so when you look at, that's the stuff that Pete Hegseth revealed in his book, The Battle for the American Mind. And then he wrote, his last book was on the woke military. Great book. Again, I should have put the title on there. Maybe I'll get it to you another time. But he is who Trump had to have read his books, because he likes what Pete Hegseth is talking about. Because he's like, that's the guy I want to lead the Department of Defense. Pete Hegseth was in the military. He was in active duty or reserves for about 20 years. So this guy has a history. Now, he wasn't a general. That's where some of the people are saying, he's not a general. We can't trust him, whatever. And so they're not necessarily wanting him. So and when he first came out, you see how the left, they always try to disparage people. And so they started right away with him, the sexual harassment allegations, the drunkenness, and all these different things they're bringing against him. And so they're saying it was going to be tough for him to get the votes that he needs to be confirmed. Now it's looking more positive because, again, the Republicans, we control the Senate. We have 53 to 47, so we have the majority in the Senate. So if the Republicans stay in line, we should be able to get this. This is my take on it. I think that all Republicans in the House and the Senate It is your responsibility. The people elected you. We gave you a majority. We the people, elected the majority of the Senate and the majority of the House of Representatives to be conservative Republicans. And we elected you guys because we wanted Trump's agenda. We want his policies. So get out of the way and let the man handle his business. That's the way I see it. I don't care if you're Murkowski, Collins, I don't care if you personally don't like the guy. If you're believing a lot of the allegations about these sexual assault things, which, by the way, they're all anonymous. No one's coming forth saying, oh, yeah, he sexually assaulted me. These are all anonymous allegations. And a lot of the stuff they got from this was from an email that was leaked by a news source that Pete Hegseth's mom wrote to him about him drinking and about him cheating on his first wife and the family breaking up, because they're strong religious people. His mom wrote him an email a few years ago challenging him. Pete, what you're doing is wrong. You're better than this. Stop drinking and do what's right by your family. Keep your family together. That's a good family. That's a good mom. If I was getting out of line and being crazy and going wild, I would want my mom to write me an email, call me, talk to me, do what you got to do to try to shake some common sense into me. And so a news outlet, they hacked his emails, they got it, and then they leaked that, and they say, see, even his own mom thinks he's a bad guy. Well, she's come out since then and said, no, he's a great man. But this was a time where he was not making good decisions. He was going through a divorce. He was drinking. He lost his family, ended up getting remarried. But he is an honorable man. There's 100 Navy SEALs and other veterans that have been all around Capitol Hill the last couple of days, and they are standing up for Pete Hegseth to show their support of him. They say that he's all about service and sacrifice, and that's what's needed to lead the Department of Defense. That's what they're saying. And so that's a story. We'll see what happens with Pete Hegseth over these next couple of days. Confirmation hearings, they could go a day, they could go a few days. You got both sides partisan. They get to ask their questions. They get to grill him. The Democrats are coming out strong. They don't like him. They don't want him in there. They want more of the status quo. I think it's ironic, though. They would rather have that Rachel Levine dude. Remember that dude who was the transgender dude that was in the military, who he's a guy, but he's transitioning to a woman. The Democrats confirmed him, but yet they're saying they got a problem with a dude like Pete Hegseth. So that's crazy. But so also up for confirmation hearings, and this is what it's about this week. It's starting even days before the inauguration. You got Pam Bondi. She's up for that, her confirmation hearing. She was the Florida Attorney General that Trump really likes. She's been in his corner forever. She's Trump's pick for Attorney General. Pam Bondi, she's slated to start her Senate Judiciary Committee sometime this week. I think it was supposed to be for tomorrow, but I think that's been delayed a little bit. So Pam Bondi, she's up. Trump has picked Kristi Noem. She's the South Dakota governor, Kristi Noem. She's Trump's pick to lead the Department of Homeland Security. Her stock was riding high for a while. Now I want to say this. Governor Kristi Noem has local ties. We got our music. Hey, anytime that's playing, music's always appropriate. Guys, let me just say this. Our show's going off pretty smoothly.
We'll say that for now. We've got an hour left.
I'm saying, this is our first time doing it, first show. The screen just went out on that, but okay, there we go. But I think it's happening. We got a lot of switches and changes. This is better than me doing it in my home studio. Todd, remember when we tried to do that?
We did a few.
We did.
I was trying to get me on camera, but I think I accidentally broke it because I actually do have that face for radio.
I can confirm that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my bad.
Because I'm dishing on myself, doesn't mean I need it amplified.
Everyone around has a face for radio except for me. Wait, which camera I'm on?
Going for. Yeah, small big. Yeah.
There you go.
Let's get a close up. Yeah, there you go. Look at three.
There you go. So, but anyway, but Kristi Noem, her stock was riding high. Now she's got local ties. Her kids, I think one of her sons and then her nephew and niece, they were at Evangel University. I actually had some of her nieces in my Essential Christianity class. So that's kind of cool. She's got a local tie here. Congressman Jason Smith from the Branson area. He's good friends with Kristi Noem. She's a good Christian woman of God, and she's doing a good job leading South Dakota. Well, Trump has touted her to lead the Department of Homeland Security. And so that confirmation should go through. And so that's this week. And then, of course, Marco Rubio. These are the high-profile picks. He's the senator from Florida. Trump has picked him to be Secretary of State. So that's a no-brainer, because the Senate, usually they confirm their own, whether you're Republican or Democrat. It's like if you're in our 100-people club here and you get touted to be one of the picks, we're going to confirm you, whether you're Republican or Democrat. So that's the deal there. And then another one this week that's supposed to go, the CIA director, former Representative John Ratcliffe. He's set to go before the Senate this week. We'll see how that goes. Sean Duffy, he is former Fox News host. Trump chose him to be the transportation secretary. So he's supposed to go before the Senate today too, or this week too. So we'll see where some of these picks go. That's story number one. The confirmation hearings are beginning for Trump's picks. Here's the second top story. I thought this was a little bit interesting. Kohl's, story number two. Kohl's. I don't know if you guys shop at Kohl's, Kohls. It's next to, over here on Independence Road next to Walmart. They're set to close 27 stores around the country. Kohl's. Anybody shop at Kohl's? Is our store going to be one of them? Anybody here? I don't think there's anybody here that ever shopped at Kohl's. Todd, do you? Your wife shop there? Stephanie? Does she? Oh, your mother-in-law? Okay, so we got some people. Frizz! We got your mug on camera.
Hey,
what's up? Oh, Lord. Is he the one that's going to give himself permission to put himself on camera? Oh, my goodness. He's behind the board. You're feeling good, though, over there, aren't you? I like the smile on your face. Praise the Lord. It's always appropriate here on Frontline Faith. But so Kohl's, they're closing 27 underperforming stores. Now, it's in a handful of states. Usually, some states are closing one or two. But in California, crazy California, they're closing 11 of the 27 stores that are going to be closed. Alabama's got one closing. California has 11 closing. Colorado, they're closing some. Illinois got 2 closing. Massachusetts, New Jersey, they're closing a couple of them. And then Virginia. And then Utah. So now, here's the thing. When I was looking at this list of closures, first of all, Kohl's said these are underperforming stores, and they have a lot of theft. So underperforming stores with a lot of theft. Of the 27 stores, 20 of them are in blue states. Now, here's what I noticed. Now, this is just what I noticed. Frizz is giving me a look. It's the policies, man. It's the policies. The Democrats have their whole, if you steal less than $1,000, we won't prosecute you, and it's a misdemeanor. No wonder people are going to these stores and stealing like crazy, because you can get, if you do get caught, you're just going to get a slap on the wrist. You're not going to have any jail time because you got, no cash bail. So you're not going to be in jail. You can be back out stealing tomorrow. This is what's crazy about it. And then they wonder, crazy California, you wonder why stores finally say, we're leaving your state. And then people say, well, it's because of racism, because of sexism. No, it's because crazy California has crazy policies that, allow criminals to continue on being criminals.
I wouldn't say crazy. I would just say flat out stupid.
You
can steal a lot for $1,000. I'm thinking immediately a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox. Hey, I'm only going to get a slap on the wrist for another PlayStation and Xbox. Hey, let's go.
And then you know what they do? There's syndicates that take it from these people that are stealing it, and then they turn around and they sell it. They literally have like stores set up online that are selling these items that people are stealing. It's big, multi-million-dollar business. And it's because of the policies. So no wonder Kohl's is leaving Gavin Newsom, crazy California. Now, Missouri, our store's good. We got good policies here. I mean, we're common sense people here in Missouri. Thankfully, Kohl's is still here, even though I never shop at the store. I think my wife might. I don't know. I got to check, the credit card bill. I don't know what she shops at, whatever. But here's the reality of it. We can't let Gavin Newsom and the Democrats try to California America. We can't let you California America, baby. We don't want your crazy policies. We don't want stuff, because this is where it leads to. Common sense, people. We got to think these things through. California is cray-cray, and it's because of policies. And then stores like Kohl's closed, and they say, well, it's the economy. It's, the policies. They're greedy. No, they are saying we're tired of you guys letting people just steal and not arresting them and throwing those jokers in jail. Throw their rumps in jail. So that's the deal there. Also, I noticed that Macy's is closing 66 locations as well, and they're saying the same thing. Too much theft, underperforming stores. So that's story number 2. Kohl's, Macy's are closing stores. Here's story number 3. The Department of Justice, Jack Smith, they just released their special counsel report. Now, this was released while we were sleeping overnight. I mean, it dropped. Now, I think it's interesting to know, while you're sleeping, now, Jack Smith, let me just give you a little history. Yeah, Fritz is sleeping right there. So Jack Smith is who, it was in the Biden administration, the Department of Justice. He, the leader of that, what's the guy's name? It started with an M. I forget his name. I was thinking of Mershon, but that's the judge in Trump's trial. The attorney general who was under Biden, he chose Jack Smith to prosecute the case where Trump was having the documents. Remember, they went after Trump. They raided Mar-a-Lago. They said that he was taking these classified documents out. Trump was saying, listen, some of these things are personal. Every president takes boxes of documents to their house. They get time to sort through them. We later found out that Obama had some, because you can do that. All of them had them. Vice President Pence had some. Even Sleepy Joe Biden had some. They were in his garage. Now, the only difference is Joe Biden didn't have access to them because he wasn't the president. He had some of these files when he was a senator, and they were in his garage, which allegedly Hunter Biden, his son, who was allegedly the drug dealer, the druggie, he had access to, driving his sports car there. But so Joe Biden, his case gets dismissed because the special counsel in that case said, no, he's too old. Nobody's going to prosecute him. Let's not make a big deal out of it. But Jack Smith said, oh, President Trump, we definitely are going to prosecute you. And they did. They were trying to take that case to the fullest extent. And then so we just found out last night, and then especially after Trump won, Jack Smith, he's resigning, and he released his report last night. Here, let's play this video with an update. This is from CNN. Now, listen, I want to say this. I know some of you guys say, CNN? I don't ever watch CNN. You got to watch it sometimes, okay? And I'm going to watch it so you don't have to, but there's some clips I'm going to play from there. And, I know my mom says, don't watch CNN in my house. My wife's the same way. But play this little clip. I want you to see this report from CNN.
Overnight, if he was not going to be president in 6 days, he would have been a convicted federal felon. That is the thrust of the final report from now former special counsel Jack Smith, released by the Justice Department while you were sleeping. It is an extraordinary document for posterity, if nothing else. And there will be nothing else. Jack Smith resigned Friday night, and there will be no prosecution. And this pertains only to the election interference case. The report on classified documents will not be made public.
So basically, this report pretty much stated that had Trump not won re-election, he would have been found guilty in his documents case. And again, Mar-a-Lago gets raided because Trump took out boxes, some stuff, like he said, some of that stuff's personal to me. Some stuff from foreign leaders that gave him things. And then so some of them were classified documents, but Trump, when he was president, he argues that he had the power and the authority to declassify anything. All the president has to say is, that's declassified. And it is the case. He's the president. And so, but Trump was saying, listen, we were negotiating with the archives department to say what I can keep, what they wanted back, because presidents for their library, they get maybe, some special thing that a world leader gives them and they put it in their presidential library. So Trump was negotiating with the archives department, but the archives department, they were very much led by Democrats who didn't like Trump. And so they were like, let's get him. They're out to get him. And so they brought this case, the classified documents case, against President Trump. Again, they let Joe Byron off. Byron didn't get convicted of it. He had classified documents. Pence just apologized. Vice President Pence apologized, said, oh, I'm sorry. All these presidents have it, but yet the only one that we are going to bring a case against would be Donald Trump. It was all part of lawfare strategy. Lawfare. Remember, they brought the cases against him in Colorado and in Massachusetts. They tried to keep him off the ballot. They're like, oh, he's guilty of insurrection, although that was never a charge brought against him. And because of the insurrection, 14th Amendment or 13th Amendment, you can't be on the ballot. So they tried to keep him off the ballot. Well, that case went to court. 21 different states tried to keep Trump off the ballot. Well, that got shot down. So that lawfare strategy didn't work. And then Alvin Bragg brought the case against him. They end up getting the 34 felony convictions on that. Even before that, Letitia James sued him, saying that he frauded banks out of, he was trying to, basically commit fraud by saying that his holdings and his earnings and his real estate value, he tried to deflate his value. Mar-a-Lago supposedly only worth $8 million. So you had that case. I think that was Judge Engoron, the crazy guy who looked like the mad scientist on Back to the Future. But so they end up getting a civil conviction against him, Trump, for that. He owed $464 billion they said he had to pay. Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, who ran on the fact saying, I'm going to sue him, I'm going to get him, I'm going to take him down every day, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to sue him. I'm going to play that clip for you guys one time. I used to play it on radio, and it didn't have the same, feel as it is on TV, but I'm going to play it for you one time. Oh, there he is. Yeah, Judge Engoron right there. The mad science. Marty McFly, what is it? I forget, what's that guy's name? Doc? Yeah, Doc. Oh.
I've never seen Back to the Future.
You never seen it?
No, sir.
Are you an American?
You know me. I do not have a good movie taste.
You never seen any?
I'm more focused on doing this than watching movies, Alex.
Bro, Back to the Future is our basic staple of all Americanism.
You want to watch Star Wars as well?
Please tell me you've seen Star.
Nope, I have not.
Who hired this guy? How? Put me back on video. Who hired a producer who's never seen Star Wars or Back to the Future? Have you ever seen Rocky?
I have seen Rocky.
Okay, good. What about the best What about the best Christmas movie ever? Die Hard. It's a Christmas movie, right? It is. It's a great Christmas movie, Die Hard.
I don't think I've watched it.
Anyway, so Judge Engoron, so they convict Trump, $460-something billion that they have to pay. They're gonna try to take Trump Tower from him, and they got this civil suit against him. Well, so it was all part of lawfare. And then they come with this case that Jack Smith had, or don't forget about the case down in Atlanta where they got him for racketeering. And then remember Fonnie Willis, her and the star-crossed lover, Nathan Wade, they were visiting the White House trying to get all these cases against him, said that Trump and 18 other people were racketeering. They got him for the charge that Al Capone did because Trump said, find me those votes I need. So they're trying to get the guy on that, trying to say that he was trying to steal this election. And so you had all these cases coming out against Trump. And then this one was Jack Smith, the documents case. And where did they all go? Lawfare was designed to keep Trump off the ballot, number one, and then to have him be a convicted felon because the Democrats' polling originally it showed years ago that people would not vote for a convicted felon. So that's what they wanted to do. Let's get him stamped convicted felon. He's not a convicted felon. He's a manufactured felon. Let's just call it real. Now, this is when I knew that wasn't going to work. When my mother, Barbara Houston, goes to Bible study 3, 4, 5 times a week, Bible study and prayer. This woman is like as praying as they come. She is spirit-filled, tongue-speaking, good Christian lady, best Christian lady you ever know. That woman went out and bought a shirt that said, I'm voting for the convicted felon. Oh my goodness. Like that's when I knew it ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Because when Barbara Houston and all these other praying Bible study people are going, no, it's not gonna work. We ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe. We ain't buying it. We don't care. That's what's going on. And so that stuff didn't work. And so, Jack Smith and his convicted, stuff. So anyway, that case has been, that's not going to go anywhere because he's resigned because Trump said, I'm going to fire you if you don't resign. So he resigned. But he tried to release his scathing report that pretty much said, Trump would have been found guilty. He was guilty. He would have been found guilty in the documents case. Now, this is, again, all part of lawfare strategy. Now, they released this in the middle of the night. Now, interesting enough, my man Donald J. Trump, he was up late. It's been reported that Trump only gets like 3-4 hours of sleep a night. The man stays up. Trump sees a lot of it. I ain't saying he sees all because that's the Holy Spirit, the brother. But Trump, if you put it online, he's probably going to see it. And so Here's what he said on Truth Social last night. This is at 12:41, basically this morning. So the report was released overnight, and Trump is already up tweeting on his own Truth Social this morning. Here's what he said. He said, deranged Jack Smith was unable to successfully prosecute the political opponent of his boss, crooked Joe Biden. So he ends up writing yet another report based on information that the Unselect Committee of Political Hacks and Thugs illegally destroyed and deleted. I'm going to come back to that because it showed how totally incorrect I was and how completely guilty Nancy Pelosi and others were. Jack is a lame-brain prosecutor who was unable to get his case tried before the election, which I won in a landslide. The voters have spoken. See, here's the deal. Trump is right on this. If you think about this, remember when Nancy Pelosi, when the Democrats controlled the House, they got together the Select Committee, and they said, we're putting together a bipartisan committee to find out what happened on January 6th. And they never got Trump for an insurrection to say that he was over an insurrection, but they came out with all these different ways to prosecute people. They said it was a bipartisan thing, the January 6ers. And so that's what Trump's saying. He's saying so they got all these people together. It was Kinzinger and Liz Cheney that were the only two Republicans who now both of them have been put out of office. Liz Cheney got embarrassed with her reelection. And it was all a political witch hunt. They hid and they destroyed evidence, tapes that could have really showed that a lot of these J6 prisoners who are in prison right now, some of them are still in prison, were not guilty. That the police actually let them in, the J6, that there was no insurrection, that they opened up the doors. Now, there were some knuckleheads that went too far, but when the Democrats controlled the House and they were over the investigation, they did their sham investigation, and then when the Republicans won the midterms 2 years ago, they were supposed to hand over all the information, but they destroyed it. They destroyed some of the zip drives. They destroyed a lot of this information that could have exonerated a lot of these J6 prisoners. There's like 960 people that have served some time in jail, patriots. Now, again, I guess a couple of them were knuckleheads that went too far. You heard a cop, you did something like that, you get what you get, you don't throw a fit. But you're talking about the praying grandma who's just walking around the Capitol, she ends up getting jacked. It's messed up. So anyway, that's the deal there. So those are top three stories. No, it took a little bit too long. Number one, we have, just to recap, top stories of the day, Trump's cabinet picks, confirmation, they start today. Number two, Kohl's is closing stores, mainly in crazy California. And number three, the DOJ released Jack Smith special counsel report. What we're going to do is, we got just one more little segment. We're going to play our little opening here again, or our video here, but then we're going to come back with what are people talking about? Some stuff I found on Twitter, on X, what people talking about. That's our final segment right here on Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. Welcome back to Frontline Faith. We're almost done here, dude. We're almost done for the day. Our first show is almost in the books. We didn't destroy anything. No major mess ups and stuff like that. Here's what people are talking about. It's all about NFL playoffs, baby. It's happening. NFL is king. I don't care what you say. Don't give me any of this football. Soccer is what we call it here. Bundle is light. I do like that commercial. I don't know who that dude is, that soccer player with Mahomes. That's a white people show, bro.
It's a football show, Alex.
Again, my sons, they like it half the time because, they're half white, but I don't get down with that. Next year, you're probably going to start telling me to watch The Office. That's a white people show.
I'm with you on that. I'm never an Office fan.
Todd, you're an Office fan?
I've watched it.
Yeah, because it's white people stuff. I don't get down with that stuff. I watch Blackish, you know what I'm saying? So,
White people stuff is watching The Office and Casserole and everything.
White people will casserole. Don't even get me started on casseroles. That's true. That's true right there. But so the playoff picture, let's talk about that. NFL football. Football's king, even though bundle is live. I like that commercial. That soccer commercial with Mahomes. I don't know what that dude's saying, but it's a good commercial. But it's happening, people. The NFL playoff picture. I want to go through this because, hey, this is stuff that I'm interested in. And life through a conservative lens, I'm interested in sports, so dang it, you will be too. So that's the deal there. Fast forward if you don't like it. But before we go into where we stand with the playoff picture and all that good stuff, we have to take a look at this. Yeah, baby. Yeah. In 2025, here is the records. The Green Bay Packers are 0-2, and the Chicago Bears are 1-0. That's the deal this year. The Packers have not won a game this whole year. That's embarrassing for you Packers fans. I'll start naming some of you guys. Christine Finger, you know. I'm going to name you. Darren Poe, you know how it is. What? Well, you going to give a name?
If you want to clap back at them, our comments are open, and Alex will see if you want to.
You Packers fans know who you are. Dr. Middlestat over there at AGTS, yeah. You guys are 0-2. What? And the Bears are 1-0, baby, and we own you guys now. It's coming. Caleb Williams, yeah, what are you going to say? No? No? Okay. All right, let's. I had to put that in there. You know I did. I got to make sure my mug is being seen, the Bears. All right, let's go to this. Let's look at this playoff picture. I want to talk about this because this is against me. There were a lot of good games this past weekend. I watched most of them. Let's take a look at the playoff brackets. We'll start with the game last night. Now, that is one game. Yeah, blow that sucker. Prince, you're getting good at this stuff, man. Look at you. So we see what's happening in the next round. Let's go to the top left over there. The Chiefs, then we got to go to the local team. They had a bye. They didn't play this week, but now we know that Houston will come to Arrowhead. Now, I'm picking the Chiefs to win that game. I don't think that CJ Stroud, he's good. I mean, I think he's a good young dude, but their team's just not all there. They've lost receivers. They're hot and cold. They've lost 7 games. And here's the deal. I am not a Chiefs fan, but I'm going to say this. And I said this to you, Todd. Did I not tell you this? I think God's plan for the Chiefs. I really do. I think God is rooting for the Chiefs. He's on their side, and it's because their owners are good Christian people. The Hunts, I had a chance to see them at Mission University or hear him speak. Lamar Hunt Jr., good Christian man. It's all about their faith. When the battle for abortion was happening in Missouri, they put a lot of their money, they put a lot of their time, they put a lot of their resources and their reputation to get people to vote no on Amendment 3. Now, it ultimately passed, but these people are pro-life. They're against abortion, and these Chiefs owners, they're not afraid to do it. You've seen videos of them giving the verse of the day. I'm telling you what, maybe God's fighting for the Chiefs. If you got Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and God, dang, bro. Now, listen, I'm a hater, though. I don't want to see you win another one. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to keep it real, Todd. I mean, but if it happens,
enjoy our season.
Okay, you guys enjoy your season. You guys have had your time.
You're the Patriots now.
And the thing about...
Hey, let it run its course.
But think about the Chiefs. You're not one of these, Todd. But the thing about the Chiefs are the fans. You guys are so annoying. You're arrogant. You guys think you're the greatest. I get it. You do have... I'm gonna put him as the 3rd greatest quarterback in NFL history right now. That's Mahomes. For me, Brady is obviously number 1. I'm still putting Montana up there. Montana's still up there. And then you got Mahomes. Now, some people, you guys give me the look like, am I getting you guys, where you guys putting Mahomes? Is he 2nd right now or no? He can't be in front of Brady.
No, he still needs some time.
Yeah.
He's still working on his. The others are finished.
I'd say
Sure.
the Super Bowl ring, and then I'll put him as the over Montana.
Okay, one more. Yeah, and I mean, you might not be wrong, because I mean, the guy, he is that dude. He is that dude. No denying. Todd's got some stuff.
MVP chip on his shoulder right now.
He does, because he hasn't had a great season, though. I had him in my fantasy football.
He had a 3rd kid, so he's going to have dad strength.
Did he have his 3rd kid?
Yeah.
Not in the Pro Bowl.
Is he not in the Pro Bowl? I didn't even know that.
They left him off.
I mean, but let's be real, though. He didn't deserve it.
One of the worst 15-2 teams I've ever seen.
He did not deserve it this year because you have the dude from Buffalo, Josh Allen. You got Lamar, and then you got Joe Burrow. He had a year. His record was out there. Who are you going to take out to put him in? You're just saying because he's Mahomes, he should have been in. That's what you're saying. I had him on my fantasy. Mahomes did not have a great year. I'm just saying. Chiefs fans, sorry. The brother didn't have a great year, but the Chiefs are 15-2. I'm predicting you to win. I'm predicting you to go to the Super Bowl, and I hope the Lions beat you. I'm just saying it like that.
When you say he didn't have a great year, are you comparing him to himself and the statistics that he had before?
I'm comparing him to the competition. Lamar, Josh Allen for sure had a better year, and they had comparable wins. And Joe Burrow, your girlfriend knows Joe Burrow, by the way. That's what they say. He had a stellar year.
They did lose to Buffalo, but he beat the others.
Yeah, but the MVP, first or first Pro Bowl is stats matter. Stats matter. Wins matter too. I'm surprised he was left off. That's the first time I heard it. But anyway, but wait, let's move it on. Let's keep it moving. So you have, I think that then you go down here, Buffalo and Baltimore. That, my friends, is going to be a beast of a game. And I don't even know if I'm ready to pick. Frizz, you're the sports guy. You do a lot of sports stuff. Give me a name. Who are you going, Buffalo or Baltimore?
I haven't even looked at this matchup, and I can't even make a description as to what it is. But just based off of the past, Baltimore has a history of choking in the playoffs.
They do.
Buffalo does as well, but
Wait. Josh Allen doesn't choke in the playoffs. He just went against the Grim Reaper. I mean, come on, let's be real. Because I'm giving him a victory for that. There should be an asterisk beside that. He won that game, but you just got Patrick Mahomes. The Grim Reaper did what he did, 13 seconds, legendary. That's what kind of catapulted him to legendary status over there. So, but the Chiefs are going to have their hands full. Because if Lamar plays, if they run the ball, and like the last time Baltimore played the Chiefs last year, they expected Lamar Hunt to throw the ball down the field 20 times a game. You can't win like that. You got to put the ball in the hands of their beast, Derrick Henry, and let him do what they do.
check out this probability of win right here. 51% to 49%.
Oh.
Like, seriously, who can make a call? Like, I'm dead serious. This may be a game where it goes down to who has the ball last.
No, you're right. And here's the thing. I'm not a betting man. I'm not a gambling man. But even I would go with Buffalo because I've seen Lamar choke too many times in the playoffs. And Josh Allen pretty much, he handled it. Didn't he have like 500 yards in that game he lost to Mahomes? 13 seconds. So anyway, but yeah, so you got that in the AFC and then over in the NFC, which is my division. First of all, the best division in the NFL this year was NFC North, and that was the Lions. You had the Packers. You had the Bears, and then the Vikings. Yeah, and so now the Lions are still the 1 seed, 15-2. They're playing good ball. They believe they're going to be going up against Washington, which derailed our season. The Commanders derailed the Bears season. We are 4-2, and then the failed Mary. What in the world? It took the heart and the soul out of us. People in Chicago, no. But I do like Jaden Daniels. I think that quarterback's smooth there. I'm absolutely glad that the Packers are out. So Philly, thank you for doing what you did there. Wait a second. Yeah, the Philly and Green Bay. That game's going to be playing. Did I skip some games? Because yeah.
One left.
Okay, yeah. So like I'm showing over here. Okay, yeah. So Philly versus Philly beat Green Bay. So Philly, who are they playing?
Scroll down.
Yeah, I'm missing something.
LA. They're playing.
Oh, that's right. I was in the wrong division. Okay, yeah. So because you got Philly, they're going to play in the Rams, which I did not watch the game last night, but my compadres are telling me about it. It sounds like the Vikings, they got sacked, 9 times?
Yeah.
Sam Darnold?
Lost a bag in that game.
Dang.
Because he did not perform well. And honestly, his last 2 weeks in big games, he hasn't performed well.
Yeah, they squeaked through last week, or they got beat, I guess, by the Lions. But his first half was terrible. Second half he came out. I didn't know that the Rams defense, they could do that. 9 sacks. I know they got Floyd. He's from he used to play for the Bears, big, tall defensive end. But who do they have over there? That's impressive that the Rams defense handled it like that.
Sean McVay's a great coach, so he
Yeah.
has his guys prepared. And now they're playing the Eagles. And just for this weekend, I will be a Rams fan.
I'm going for the Eagles on that. I don't mind the Eagles. You're a Packers or you're a Cowboys fan.
Cowboys fan, yeah, I cannot and I will not. Actually, if you're going
He looked into the camera when he said that. So we'll see the Rams versus Philly. Philly's 14-3, but I just don't think they're as good as their record's showing. I mean, Hurt, he's hot and cold. He's up and down. Like, he had a garbage 3 quarters. I think he had like 59 yards passing through 3 quarters. And then he finally did something in their last game that they won, garbage. So Hurt's hurt. He's concussed. He was concussed, but he wasn't supposed to. But see, the thing about him is when he's concussed like that, you don't want him to be the run threat. Him and Lamar Jackson, what makes their run game so good is that they're a threat to run. Like when Lamar does that read option to Henry, he literally causes that when they think, is he going to the outside run, that defensive end and the strong safety will freeze to wait for him. And then that's why you see Derrick Henry going up the middle for 150, 160 yards because they froze them there because that threat. But if you know that Lamar's concussed or if Jalen Hurts concussed, he's not going to run the ball. He's going to hand it off. You can crash down. So we'll see. There's going to be some good games. My picks, I'm picking Detroit and versus Philly. Those are my 2 picks. I think Detroit's going to go against Philly. I think Detroit's going to win. I'm saying KC and Buffalo. And I'm going to say, do I go against what I think God is saying? I got to pray about that one. God's fighting for the Chiefs. But I'm sick of the Chiefs. I hope it's Buffalo. I'm just going to say it. There you go. And then I hope the Lions win the Super Bowl. So anyway, that's people are talking about it. So we'll talk about it here. And here's something that everybody else want to talk about, coaching news. Mike McCarthy, he will not return as the head coach of the Cowboys. You're happy about that, Frizz?
I am relieved.
Okay.
Alex, I'm telling you, whenever I heard the news, I got to my knees and I just prayed to God and I thanked him so much. Dallas Cowboys coach. But let me tell you right now, there's a lot more problems in Dallas than just the coach.
Here's the deal. I think McCarthy's a good coach. I remember him being over with the Packers for so long. I don't mind him. I think that's the culture. And the same with the Bears. Our culture's terrible. Our leadership, our owners, and, of course, with the same with Cowboys with, did you guys see Jerry Jones? He was acting on a show. He was on, like, that show Land. What's that show with Billy Bob Thornton? Landman. Yeah, they did. I saw Stephen A. Smith them talking about it on the Get Up. But so yeah, he's acting. I guess he did a scene on Landman or whatever. So Jerry Jones did this past week. But so anyway, so McCarthy's out. Listen, I wouldn't mind the Bears interviewing him. The Bears are interviewing people. Mike Vrabel, he took the job as the Patriots head coach. Here's the deal. Everyone wants to know about the Bears. I know you do. I know you're interested in the Bears. Give me this camera over here so I get the close up. I know you're interested in what's going on with the Bears. I know. I feel it too. Everyone wants to know who's going to be our coach. We're interviewing everybody. If you've ever coached a Little League, Pee Wee League team, they'll interview you, I'm sure. Here's our coaching, get ready to play this video. This is the deal, what I think people are looking at with the Bears. Here's who we're looking to interview as our coach. Everybody. The mom who is at St. Mary's, the Catholic mom, we're interviewing her. Pee Wee League, interviewing them. Who knows? I'm just saying this. We better get it right because I'm tired of the Bears. We got rid of Lovey, and we've gone through about 5 coaches since then. They've all been garbage. Lovey won 10 games for 6 years in a row, made it to the playoffs. We haven't been back.
Nagy has some more experience. We can send him back to you.
We definitely don't want that garbage coach. But the thing is, and it's this. I'm going to say this. Nagy wasn't garbage. Our culture is bad. We got leadership who tells these young coaches or these coaches that don't have the cachet, that don't have any real power, here's what we want you to do. We want you to run the ball and play good defense. And if you're a young, new coach, even if you're offensively creative, you're going to go, okay, yeah, I can work within that because you just want an NFL job. You want an NFL head coaching job. So you try to fit a square peg into a round hole. Well, the reality is in the NFL, you do have to learn to run the ball, but you have to disguise it. You have to run from an RPO, a run pass option, which is what Philadelphia does, which is what Baltimore do, or you got to run it from a disguise, out in the 49ers. They got Debo coming in sweeps. You got CMC who can catch a pass, whatever. You have to disguise it. You do it from a spread formation. The Bears try to line up 9 guys guys in the box, like a double tight with a fullback, and think we're going to run the ball against these teams who then are allowed to put 8 guys in the box to defend you. It ain't going to happen that way. You got to be creative, and that's what we need. We need a creative offensive genius, and so we'll see what happens with the Bears. Let me see. Here's another thing that people are talking about, and I'm going to give this to be my final story of the day. I saw this with the LA fires. We've been talking about those. We've seen the destruction there out in California in the Palisades. Well, Black Lives Matter. I don't know if you guys remember that organization, Black Lives Matter. Patrisse Cullors, she's one of the original founders of Black Lives Matter. I know this organization pretty intrinsically. When I was pastoring in St. Louis, I was there during Ferguson. Mike Brown, hands up, don't shoot. I don't know if you guys remember that whole deal, the racial tension that happened in 2013, 2014, I think it was. I was there 2014. I was helping keep the peace between the people and the police. I met with Officer Ron Johnson on the streets of Ferguson. And it was there when Black Lives Matter, they came on the scene pretty strong. Before that, Trayvon Martin back in 2012, it was just a hashtag. Well, during Ferguson, they started to organize. I was invited to a meeting by our one of our councilmen at that time. It was a guy by the name of French, Alderman French. He's like, hey, there's a meeting. There's this rich guy. He's coming in. He's going to give some money and help us kind of organize some movements, some social justice movements. You might want to show up, because I was running the St. Louis Dream Center at the time. I was working for Joyce Meyer Ministry. Well, I didn't go to that meeting. But, you know, I just didn't go, didn't feel the need to it. I wasn't into social justice, didn't know who this rich guy was going to come in. Well, it turns out that guy was George Soros. He's the guy that backs a lot of these social movement, these left-wing democratic movements. And so he started to give money to people like Black Lives Matter, this organization. He took it from a hashtag to an organization. Well, they came up with their 13 fundamental truths, and one of them was they want that Black Lives Mattered, which at the time, I remember I'm saying, yeah, Black Lives Matter. And basically that's the way of saying, see me, we're hurting, pay attention to us. This is when back in the 60s, when Martin Luther King and the civil rights leaders, they held signs up that says, I am a man. Basically, they're saying we want to work. Because remember, in the 60s, they're protesting because they were left out of FDR's New Deal. In the 40s and the 50s, when they started to put men back to work in our country, they didn't put black men back to work because of segregation and racism. So civil rights movement, they're saying, hey, I'm a man, hear me, see me. So anyway, that's what happened on this. You had the Black Lives Matter. They founded, they incorporated. Well, then they got big. Everybody, all these white people, because of white guilt, liberalism, they were throwing money at them, and they just got so much money. So these owners of Black Lives Matter, these founders, Patrisse Cullors, they had all this money. They went out and bought some mansions out in L.A. One of them bought a $6 million mansion. Put this up here on the screen. Patrisse Cullors, she bought a $6 million mansion with money that people were donating. Black Lives Matter. Well, unfortunately, and she bought another house out there too. Apparently she had 2 big houses, mansions out there in LA. Well, they burned down in the fire. Ouch. Oof. What goes around comes around, I guess. It's terrible. So, hey, that's all we got today. That's what people are talking about. Black Lives Matter co-founder, her luxurious mansion burned to the ground. So, hey, that's all we got. Man, it's been an awesome day. First show, it's in the books. We made it. You made it. My producer, Frizz, you did an awesome job. My buddy, Todd, thank you for your technical direction over here. And, like, subscribe, share this. Go to Frontline Faith on Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. Go to our Facebook page. Make sure that you give us your email, because you need to know what's going on. We'll keep you in the loop on it. That's all we got for this time. We'll be back Thursday about 9 a.m. right here, Planet 417. Big shout out to Will Warsham, Planet 417. Until next time, we out. Word.